Brandon's gonna give his review.
Alright, is the rate yes or no?
No, there's no rate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, go to hell.
How do you say that in Japanese? That's how you say it.
As you should be.
Please tell me it's not. Please tell me it's not like the last one.
Oh, forget it.
Last one.
I know that guy. Oh, you're right. This is the one I should pick.
Oh, thank you.
This is still pretty creepy.
Alright, so I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the name, but I'm just going to call it by its alternate name. It's The Crimson Wolf and the Shackled Sheep. It's an action fantasy shonen supernatural. It's an interesting, it was an interesting manga. Right now there's only 2 chapters out about it, but this is the plot I just pretty much copied and pasted from the website I got it from. I'm not going to waste everybody's time reading it. If you really want to see it, I'll go back to it, but basically my summary is that it follows the protagonist, Yuichi, and he's a quiet boy who's constantly picked on. One day, he is awakened by a dream where he meets a girl who kind of awakens his inner and most violent desires, which are more commonly referred to throughout this manga as his wolf. And she fights it and proceeds to beat it in combat. And he doesn't realize that his dream is actually sort of a prophecy of what is to come. But he's confronted by his homeroom teacher, and around the time there's a lot of students from his school who are getting attacked and they wind up hurt and things of that nature. No one knows what's going on. I believe some of them might have ended up dead at some point, but he ends up getting confronted by his teacher's wolf, who comes out during this lunar event that's called the Red Moon, which awakens a person's inner wolf. And a new student at the school that he met moments before comes to his aid and offers to help him if he becomes her sheep. Now, as far as the whole sheep and wolf thing goes, the persona that you reveal to everyone around you, that everyone knows, that is a bit more reserved than what you really, really want to do and say, that's known as your sheep. It's just the manifestation of your ego. It's what everyone sees. Now, your wolf is basically your id. It's what you want, and it doesn't care about social mores or anything of that nature. And so far, it tends to be extremely violent, violently attacking anything that stresses you or remotely close to what stresses you. In his case, he's always getting picked on. His teacher comes to his rescue. His teacher's really stressed out about all of his students, so he lashes out at him. Ayame is the name of the girl who comes to his rescue. She is all id. She does what she wants. She says what she wants, and she cares what no one thinks. And she's extremely tough. So she can pretty much handle herself when it comes back to bite her in the ass the few times it has so far. So during that fight, they bond together. He becomes literally her sheep. He grows actual ram horns. And she becomes his wolf. She dons this sort of Red Riding Hood-esque outfit and proceeds to fight this other wolf. And Red Riding Hood's hood becomes basically the manifestation of her weapon. It turns into the different things that she needs to fight this wolf at the time. It's big, so most of the time it spends itself as arms. It turns into a giant pair of scissors at one point. And she devours this wolf to a certain extent. She eats parts of it to weaken the wolf so that the sheep, which at this point has just been dormant and to the side, can take back over and the person calms down. And it's revealed that if she actually gets to the point where she goes completely nuts and devours the entire wolf, that person basically lost their soul. They walk around as husks with no desire to do anything. And that just sort of starts their journey. Like I said, there's only 2 chapters now, so they're just sort of setting up, I guess, the theme for battle and how they both interact with each other. So, as I explained before, you have sheep, and sheep are just the outer self, the most reserved self, and what we show everyone in our everyday lives. This is the main character in his sheep form. Like I said, he literally grows ram horns. And as a sheep, it's his job to sort of tether the wolf and keep her in check. because naturally she wants to devour everything and kill everything. And his horns sort of represent that. So the bigger they are, the more of a restraint he has on her, but the weaker she is. The smaller they are, the crazier she is, and the closer to madness they get dragged into. This is the wolf. This is a representation of his teacher's wolf. It's shaped like a heart, and the fists, knuckles, are each of the children's faces that he, I guess, doesn't like. So he tries to pound him down. If you look at the ball and chain down there, within that sphere is the sheep, but it's dormant right now, so it can't do anything. It just acts as a tiny weight. But they're the manifestation of someone's inner unfiltered desires. It's just the person's id, and it looks as though the theme is going to be that they form huge, disgusting monsters. So the Red Moon is an event that so far they've explained it just sort of was realized recently. When it shows up, that means that there's a wolf somewhere that is out on the prowl right now. Those are the girl's weapons. Ayame, she uses these silver brass knuckles. She uses these silver knuckles. I'm not really sure how to pronounce them. I just call them the Ken. But they're really one of the best ways she has for fighting the wolf, besides turning into full wolf herself. She uses it to beat up his wolf when she first meets him, and she also uses it to sort of form the bond between them, and at some point he gets a hold of them too and he uses them to fight, but they're not her main weapon. I guess in her human form is what she used to defend herself. These are the characters. Like I said, this is the main character. He's reserved. In this scene, he's in his head acting out how he wants to respond to his bullies, but he doesn't actually do that. So in this one, he's a badass, and he has the mark of Buddha on his forehead. So at a drop of a dime, he'll just kick your ass and it'll be all right. But in actuality, he's sitting there getting his ass handed to him, as you can kind of see in the top panel. That's Ayame. She's short, reserved girl, high school student. Really, she has a really weird obsession with Red Riding Hood, as far as her whole costume and her whole demeanor, and the things that she says are always related to Red. This is the story where Red Riding Hood eats the wolf and things of that nature. These are just a couple of scenes. This is when she first transforms. Like I said, the